Whew, okay, I can do this. I am doing a Bonnet recording this time, y'all. It's not that I don't want to stream live and I will be back on Tuesday, but this is a way to test new equipment and to just get through this because this is a hard one for me. I have my friend's memorial fund here highlighted. The reality of her not being here has still been hard to process because it's just hard. It's hard when the world loses one good person. But it feels like we've lost so many good people this week, and it has just been a constant state of chaos. And there's so much that I wanted to talk about on Friday, but I just couldn't find the drive and focus because I was feeling survivor guilt. I come from the generation of in betweens, the ghost. I don't say it for people to pity me. Gen Xers don't want or need that. Most of us are surly sons of bitches. But when I say that it pains me that somebody like me who has existed for over 45 years now, who isn't in the best shape, doesn't always take care of myself, doesn't always do the right things, and I'm here. But when somebody who is sweet, who survived so much as well, who strived to do better and was doing better is taken, it's hard. Lynn's journey mirrored so much of my own being a New York girl. She probably had to deal with friends who really weren't her friends, family who were just as bad as the enemy sometimes, the complexity of still loving them even though they weren't good for us, the moving away because as much as our hometown is in us and we'll always be New York girls, we knew trying to survive there just wasn't for us. Surviving a horrible act at a young age as well. We both had to deal with so much trauma and process how to get through it. And I thought we both get to be tough old broads together. But fate had another plan. And just like my friend Anne, Lynn was taken at a time where I felt she was still needed. Her light helped keep me going. Her willing to be vulnerable with her struggles and her ways to help the struggle, getting help by therapy, talking about therapy, stuff that our community still frowns upon because there are still people that rather us try to pray it away. She helped me see that talking openly about mental health issues is not a problem. So, feeling her loss, I couldn't stream live. I love my chat. I love the people who regularly try to make it. I love the people who share it online. I love the people who encourage me, and it's not you guys. But I just couldn't sit and try to pay attention to the streaming words in chat and talk about how hard this is. Talk about how hard it is to continue to survive and try to make sense of things that don't make sense. To watch a world that has the ability to be smart or refuse, to watch people embrace hatred in the name of protecting their comfort, to watch people watch somebody who works hard, strives to make things better for us, vilified, and then the people defending her vilified because it's easier to hate. It's easier to be a bigot than it is to embrace equality because you were trained socially to believe that your elevation, your comfort is more important than everybody else. But you don't want us to see that. You want to label equality as being too woke. You want to label learning as too painful. You want to feel elite without putting in the fucking work. And then when I see people like Lynn who put in the work, who do the thing, taken so fucking early. She was only 44. She was supposed to hit Team 45 with me. And she's not here. And her son has to go on. And I can't act like I know what's going to happen because I know that humanity currently is always on borrowed time. We are on a borrowed system. We don't know how long we're here for or why we're here. So that fucking voice, along with the chorus of others, is constantly in my head on why are we doing this? What's the fucking point? The point is to make things better. And I wish some of you fuckers didn't make it so hard to make things better. The point is to accept that humans are complex. The point is to understand that your traditions, if it's meant to exclude, meant to make people feel bad so that you can feel comfortable, means you're the bad person in this situation. And that being bad and being good changes on a dime. And that some people have done awful things in the name of good because they only mean good for them. They don't mean good for us all, and they are a part of the problem. And we have seen people that look like us that will sell us down the river for that level of comfort, that illusion that they're better than us. We have seen people destroy so much hard work because it didn't seem genuine enough. It didn't cater them enough. It didn't make them feel special enough. Because in a world of true equality, there's no need to feel more special than anybody. There's no need to feel elevated. But too many of you are scared to admit that is the only pleasure center you have. And then there's the rest of us who are numb to this shit. We have to navigate this ridiculous shit. As a writer, I've tried my hardest to make sense of this. My first work was the explanation of how human evolution can both go wrong and but be done with the whole right intentions at heart. How people twist what it means to be human, twist what it means to be anything to what they want, and how anybody can be a monster if enough people want to believe it. I say that as a Black woman. And I've had people read and give me amazing feedback, and please continue to do that. Please continue to give me your feedback on the story. I know it's raw. I know there are errors. This is my first work, and I couldn't afford an editor right now. I am doing my part to build up to where I can get my stories, get a team together, but I don't want somebody doing the work for free for me. I know what that feels like. It took me years to craft this story, piece it together, put it in a coherent way. And I know it's not perfect, but it's mine. But I'm grateful that I was able to put it out. But one of the things I feel people aren't going to get, and it was explained to me, but I need to make it clear that the Black people in my story exist. They're not going to be your stereotypical Black people. Because I don't think people understand what it's like to exist with this skin color, but have people listen to the way I talk and say, you don't seem Black. Because to them, that's a compliment. The fact that people don't understand that Blackness is not a monolith, that we are a fluid ethnicity, that we can be whatever the fuck we want for our own level of comfort. And the only thing that really makes us a little bit better in my eyes, because I've existed this way, is the fact that so many of us realize that we are not better than people and that we just want everybody around us to feel our joy and to be joyful too. For the life of me, I always wanted to understand why people thought it was a compliment to say you don't seem Black, because I never felt my Blackness was a problem. I never felt being Black was an issue. But I realized that most people didn't understand what that meant either. They don't understand me. And I know that when people read characters like Kayla, even, they're going to think, she doesn't seem like a Black woman. Because most of you don't know Black women. You don't realize that we can be just as geeky as you. We can be into the things that you're into, including things like rock music. We are a very complex ethnicity. We had to be. I like to remind you that my ancestors are a combination of people who were brought over from a whole ass other continent and stripped of their humanity, and the people who were natives on here who were stripped of their humanity. And we had to fight for that. And we have been called monsters, demonized, hunted down, murdered as threats. Anybody who reads my current story and don't get that the BHM are an allegory for my existence, you need to understand that. Anybody who needs me to fully stereotypically describe the black characters in my story, the people of color in my story, anybody who needs a stereotypical view of humans without understanding that we don't come in pretty little packages, that how we carry ourselves, our influences are shaped by those around us. And many of us had to be chameleons. Many of us had to embrace full-on sociopathy to survive in this unfair world. So no, I don't think I need to describe the characters a little bit more blacker. I think we need a world where you can see us better, where my descriptions will work for you and understand that our place in society is here. And I'm not saying that to ding my friend, because I was so grateful, because it helped me see that I hit that point. I want people to see us as humans. I want people to see past those social barriers that we have put on ourselves via race and income and certain structures that we mentally put on ourselves to separate ourselves. That's why I'm still here. I have to believe that. It's why they take good people like Lynn, who fought the good fight, who said that she was getting to a better place. It was her time. The ancestors needed her more, and I have to believe that that is why good people, left and right, have been being taken from us. But it hurts, because I struggle with why I'm still here putting up with this bullshit. I'm still here trying to defend my way of being. I'm still here watching people question our first female vice president's capabilities, calling her out her face, disrespecting her, and thinking that she doesn't need defending because her income level should shield her for just a joke. Even her own people getting their jabs in. And like so many of us who have multi-ethnic ties, she has the cultural bonds. But so many people want to both claim and deny her. And it fucking sucks. I can't claim my native ancestry. My grandfather was re-fucking homed, stolen from his people by well-meaning white Christians, disowned for daring to fall in love with a black woman. That is my family's reality. I can barely claim my black heritage sometimes because being too geeky means you're not hard enough. And while I can get down with some of the toughest broads, I don't ascribe to every style of that life set. I was raised around it, forged by it. I don't want to live by it. I don't have to be anti-black to understand that blackness is not neat or perfect, and finding your own way of comfort is the best way to be black in this country, because nobody's fixing to accept us anyway. But what troubles me is I watch a first female black Supreme Court justice sworn in, as I watch our first black and Asian, as somebody with Filipino family members who have watched the duality of having brown family who still think they're better than black people, who understand that they love us but don't love who we are, who understand the complexities of hate and how easy it is to fall into it for some of you, and how you think you got all of us fooled as you give in to the laziest fucking mentality but try to convince the world the rest of us are lazy. No, it's hard fucking work navigating your bullshit. And that's what I realized. That's another reason why the survivor guilt hurts, because I'm tired. I feel so exhausted most days. And losing another friend, losing a light, losing somebody who I felt was struggling with me, but doing what she could to find that happy, to protect that hope, to get to that better place. And now I have one less person on that path. It fucking hurts. And this is why I didn't want to do this live. Because I'm fucking tired, y'all. And I'm not giving up because I'm stubborn too. I'm not giving up because I know it's effective. I know because I spent all day yesterday with weirdos parachuting in my mentions. I don't seek them out. I never fucking stalk Twitter to get in the fights with people. Some of yous. That is the only dopamine hit you have, and you're really pathetic. I don't seek your tweets out. You seek mine. And you jumped into my mentions to not only disrespect VP Harris, but disrespect anybody that doesn't ascribe to your weirdo sensibility, your cosplay socialism. I literally had somebody with the word "coming" in their name say, she's got a picture of Kamala Harris as her banner. She's a threat. Oh, you mean this picture right here? Let me pull that shit up because I am really proud of my banner, actually. No offense. Let me get this. I love you, Lynn. Let me pull this up and computer work with me today. This, apparently, this banner means I'm a threat. K Hive is a threat to them because we pull receipts on shit you say. K Hive's a threat to them because we push back. K Hive's a threat to you because we watched you take a woman who was willing to do the work, who put in the social and civic efforts to make things better for us, and you shit on her for 30 years. You shit on her family for 30 years. You vilified Hillary Clinton. You vilified Chelsea. Anything that has to do with a woman, bad, because you don't want to share that leadership and power. And now we are watching you with a sprinkle of the shitty racism to boot do that to VP Harris, and we are not having it. I said it in 2016 and I meant it. I wish I would have fought harder for Hillary. I seen the writing on the wall. I couldn't believe Trump got that far, but I knew because we're a collective bunch of babies, selfish, entitled fuckers, that this man was going to extend. I had hoped that enough of us collectively would stop him, but it didn't happen because there were still more misogynistic pricks who just wanted to believe that Hillary wasn't good enough. She ain't center us enough. I can throw my vote away. It's not going to matter. And we told you it mattered. And we are seeing the fallout of your fuckery. And still, instead of opening your eyes and helping you join the side that wants to protect us all, you would still rather play the game of I'll be all right no matter what. This person's a threat. We want our socialist utopia. We want it where these people are on the bottom fueling us again. We wouldn't mind if things went back to slavery. It wasn't so bad for them. We know how you fucking talk, y'all. Because some of us have been in your ranks. Oh, yeah. I told you I was a threat. I never hid that I was a threat. You just don't know how I'm a threat. Because unlike other K Hive who put the little banners around their name and with open face, I watched your patterns. I watched how some of you would swoop in, pick a fight with us, get other assholes like you who want that cosplay socialism to be our new norm, come out of pockets, whether it's their mommy and daddies or their supposedly hard-working 9-to-5 job that they really want to get away from to pay for your Patreon so that you could stick it to it and troll us. How many of you threatened to dox us, expose us, shame us? I don't have that shame. I am literal Gen X. You want to shame me for being in poverty? I thought you were the champion of the poor. I thought you were about the working class. You want to shame me for my disability, for my mental health, ableism? I don't think that's gonna fly in this day and age, champ. You want to shame me for being black? Racism to boot. You should fear people like me because I'm at the point in my late 40s, losing my friends left and right, where I can't be apt to give a fuck about your level of Twitter trolling. I will not amplify you. Half the time, I won't even respond to you outside the subtweet to piss you off. And then I'll leave your ass muted so that you can see and respond and keep dinging at me like a gnat, but I won't feel you because you're no longer there. Your words didn't resonate and you wasted your only shot there, champ. Way to go. Unlike some older folks online who let you get under their skin, who it's like a chess game for them too, they get their dopamine hit arguing with you. I let you waste my time for just a few seconds. I might even respond in the subtweet about how stupid the shit you said to me is. But I will never highlight you because I see the patterns. I see how you profit off of trolling. And I refuse. I will make your life miserable. And I will make sure that your path isn't lucrative. That is my goal. That is why I'm here. I am a fucking spirit of vengeance. And I realize that. And while it sucks, because I wish I was good enough where the ancestors would want to call me home, I realize I'd rather be that bitch that makes your lives miserable, that bursts your little bubble, that keeps your little fucking socialist fantasy from being a reality. And I see you working hard against the people who are fighting the fascists. And I see you working hard to try to get candidates that are going to waste our time. And I refuse. Because pragmatism is the only way we're going to save ourselves. It was your way of thinking that allowed people to use biblical reason to take my people's humanity away. If you don't think I don't see how that could happen again legally, well, you turn a blind eye for your comfort, I refuse. And we need this wake up call. Those of us who think I'm brown, but I'm not that level brown, so I'm close enough to the other side. Your comfort is an illusion. And you'll do that dance for them. But they'll have you in shackles as fast as fucking possible. Don't play those games. We can't afford it. You need to open your fucking eyes. We are losing good people, but there are still enough of us motherfuckers out there that are sick of this. We don't call ourselves good because we're not good people. We're real. We're raw. We're able to see the fuckery, call it out. We're not here to make friends and be everybody's friends. We're here to be brutally honest about how things should be better by now. But it's not because you're selfish and entitled motherfuckers. And it always hurts more when we lose good people like my friend Lynn, because it feels like I am stuck more with you selfish entitled pricks and less good assholes like her. And I hate calling her asshole. She wasn't an asshole. She was a good person. She knew how to be sassy, just like most of us New York girls. She probably fought just as much as I had to. Probably didn't get as much enjoyment out of fights as I did. I openly admit that back in the day, hitting people helped me release, but it was getting bad. So I'm glad I stopped doing that. And it took a lot of work to get to this mindset. I'm afraid I'm going to go back to that side of myself. I don't want to. But some people really want me. They want to pull that shit out of me. And it helps having somebody in my life who's not only supportive, but balances me out with his level of crazy. I am lucky, y'all. But I don't feel right when people try to say that I'm as good as my friend, because I'm sorry. No. Lynn really was the better of us. She was the better me. And I will say that to my last breath, that I wish she was still here, because this world would be better with her in it. She is everything I can't be, because I am emotionally devoid and attached most days. I can cut things off in a heartbeat. Friendships are nice, but they don't have that same resonance for me. And I'm honest about that. And I think some people take that honesty as me being more of a caring person. I just want to warn people from when they get too close and they realize, oh, there's the wall. She's not letting me pass this. I don't understand this level of defense. Why is she being that way? Because I am going to protect my peace at all costs now. I have not survived this long easily. I have been in a lot of self inflicted pain and non self inflicted societal pain. I refuse to let somebody snake their way into my life and make my life miserable anymore, because it was the people who claimed to care about me that did me the dirtiest. So I cannot. So yeah, I am definitely not like Lynn, because Lynn touched so many people. So many people had stories of how she reached out, taking the time and energy to make sure they're okay. And I try. I'm not going to act like I don't speak to people. It takes me a lot longer. I'm not very comfortable doing it. And I very rarely just reach out. If I do so, it means I've gotten to a level of comfort with that person. But even then, even people who are close to me know there's that wall with 10. I'm probably not going to hear from her for a while. It's just how I've always survived. And I feel like the world needs more people like Lynn who are willing to put themselves out there, willing to reach. Even if she didn't physically know you, she wanted you to feel good. She wanted you to feel love. She wanted you to feel like family. And there's somebody who has a really weird dynamic with my blood family. It's somebody who doesn't have that natural closeness with them anymore. It was nice having somebody who felt like, yeah, this could be my family. And now she's gone. And she's one of many. And with variants of COVID still being a thing, because people are still being stupid and selfish and not doing the bare minimum to stay safe. I used to study history, things like the plague and the Dark Ages, and think that had to be the worst time in humanity. That they didn't understand what was going on. The world was burning around them, death and chaos and destruction. I can't imagine what that mindset is. And then it hit me. I'm fucking living it. I'm living in a world of a preventable plague that's being spread by selfish people who don't want to bathe but do TikToks where their dirty feet touch a wall. I am watching people drink urine instead of getting a booster that can keep them fucking safe. I am watching people embrace the worst sides of humanity so that they can fuck and make more children and live in a system that tells them poverty is best. But if you sold yourself just a little bit more, you could have comfort. So it's either sell your fucking soul out and be a soulless goblin that keeps other people miserable so that you can have your comfort, or live in this weird extreme poverty for the chance that you might, when you die, get to live in some afterlife, a paradise. And it's a fucking paradox to me, because it all feels like bullshit. Honestly speaking, the whole idea that everything I do will somehow have me judged for some afterlife of either golden prosperity or afterlife of torment never really freaking interested me on a personal level. Learning how to make this existence good for me and people around me felt like the better path. But it really is like playing in a hard mode of gaming, because not everybody is on this page. Not everybody can handle it. It means understanding that humanity is complex, that certain things are fluid, that we don't have to accept the deviant, hurtful things about people's personality, and that we should work to understand so that we have less of that. But that humanity is a complex thing, and we do so much hate and leaning into, I don't understand it, I'd rather fear it and try to destroy it, then I need to understand this. It might not be so bad once I understand this. I might end up a better person if I understand this. And I'm going to get ready to wrap this up, but I want to talk a bit about what really sparked this outside my friend's passing, because this is serious to me. Putting my work out there means I am going to feel dings, because I wasn't the nicest person online. I know for every positive review I'm going to get of this story, I'm going to get negative stuff, rightfully so. There are technical errors, there are grammatical errors. I went without an editor because I literally couldn't afford it. I'm not making an excuse, and I'm waiting for those complaints. But one of the things that really sat with me, that I think I need to really nip in the bud early on about the way I write characters, is if you can't sense that this character is a certain ethnicity, that's good. All Black people have ever wanted was to be human. You should see yourself in that path. I've had to see myself in plenty of white literary characters, aspects of their personality that mirrored mine. Just because I don't get full on descriptive about features and stuff should not make them less Black, because not every Black person has the same features. Some of us have features from our various ancestries. Some of us are a mixture of both Black, Asian, white, and Native. So I need you to understand that when you read my work, I've given plenty of descriptive features for their ethnicity, but they are beyond their ethnicity. They are human. And in this story, some of them are even more human than the regular human. And that was the whole point. How that can even be twisted. How they can be turned into monsters by simple fear and lack of understanding. I think it's hard for people who are used to being in the default setting of society to get that, and I understand that. You've been spoon fed the illusion so much that it's hard for you not to see us as caricatures. It's hard for you not to immerse yourself in a world where we exist, because you've had nothing but entertainment telling you that in the future, we're not going to be there. If anything, we'll just be background characters. And worse yet, you're not around enough of us to understand that characters like Kaylor, they're me. They're the Black woman that you tell things like, oh, I didn't know you were Black. You didn't sound Black over the phone. The reality of this situation is, when I seen that critique, my brain just goes, thank you, but you really don't know Black people. And I want you to learn about us. I want you to understand us. I want you to see that we exist in so many different aspects of the spectrum of life, and that there's no way to just classify or quantify us except our resilience, our ability to survive, because that's all we have sometimes. I know I'm a survivor. I know my people in whole are survivors, because we've survived some of the worst aspects of human history, and we still strive to seek joy and understanding and just get through it. And y'all need to stop making it so hard for us to. We're here. We exist, and we deserve our place. But I'm going to get ready to wrap this up, see how this new mic sounds. I'm going to get on the bike for a bit, then go play D&D with my friends. This day has felt just as heavy as the rest, but I've got to keep going on. That is what I've got to take from losing Lynn. That is what I'm going to take from her not being here. It is not for me to just shut down. It is not for me to give up. It is for me to honor her memory by moving on, continuing on, doing what I can do while I'm here to make things better for her baby boy who's still here, who's about to go to college. If you can help her fund, please do. If you can't, just keep her spirit solid by doing your part to make this world better, because that's what she was striving for. And nobody in this world is perfect. We're all a bunch of flawed creatures just trying to exist. I just wish more of us would realize that our existence doesn't have to come at the expense of everybody else. The more of us that start to realize that, the more of us that start to realize that, yeah, we can all have better if we wanted that, we could get there. I believed it. Lynn believed it. We all know that it can happen. Some of you rather have your comfort. But I'm going to wrap this up. I will talk more about this on Tuesday with the stream. I apologize, y'all. I just couldn't do this on Friday. It was hard. Her death still, trying to process it all. I just can't. 44 is too young to be gone. And it comes on the heels of assassinations of former prime ministers and others stepping down, and so much strife, human driven strife. It just makes me tired. But I'm grateful I have the ability and this platform to talk about it, because it's the best way. Communication is still our best way to get across better ways. So hopefully, if you sat through all of this, you grieve with me for Lynn. You will honor her memory by personally investing yourself in being better people, because that's what she would have wanted. I'm going to do my part because I loved her and I still love her and her family. And I'm going to wrap this up. I will see y'all on Tuesday for a live Bonnet Chronicles. Thank you so much for sitting in on this.